NASA's plan is to build a base on the moon before sending humans to Mars to shorten the process of getting to Mars. SpaceX founder Elon Musk wants to be the first to go to Mars. After Elon Musk, the European and Russia space agency have also announced plans to send humans to Mars. But the problem is that the atmosphere of Mars is not yet suitable for life because humans must have enough oxygen to survive. NASA is researching to create oxygen on Mars. The International Space Station will start working on Mars once it gets enough oxygen. There are many reasons behind the desire of humans to live on Mars, where scientific exploration and space curiosity are also factors. But there is a logical reason behind these desires. The human race could be wiped out due to a major cataclysm like the dinosaurs were wiped out from our Earth 650 million years ago. Meanwhile, the Earth's climate is constantly changing, and this is probably the biggest reason. And in the future, someone will become the Neil Armstrong of Mars. Meanwhile, Elon Musk's first plan to land a man on Mars by 2026. But he changed his plan and took it to 2029. On the other hand, NASA also plans to land man on Mars by 2030. But the question is not who will go to Mars first. The question is how can humans survive after going to Mars. Of course, Mars has many characteristics similar to Earth, as the length of a day on Mars, called a Martian day or so, is only 39 minutes longer than on Earth. Their climates are almost the same. Also, Earth and Mars have polar ice caps. Earth has an atmosphere while Mars has a slightly thinner atmosphere than Earth. But one thing that is absolutely not enough for humans to live on Mars is oxygen. How will this oxygen gas be produced on Mars? This is not for one or two people. The possibility is for the entire human race. If you talk about keeping people alive in difficult situations, the first thing that comes to mind is ISS, i.e. International Space Station. For 25 years, this International Space Station is working for human welfare. International Space Station is always attended by 4 to 5 astronauts. Their daily water requirement is at least 45 liters. That is 1,350 liters per month and 60,200 liters per year. Apart from this, 1,000 kg of oxygen gas is used annually in the ISS. 400 kilometers away from the Earth in space, so much water and oxygen. How? For these two systems are installed in ISS. One is water recovery system WRS and the other is oxygen generation system or OGS. Why cannot we install these two systems on Mars? To understand this first, we need to know how do these systems work. Water management system collect water from human waste such as urine, sweat and moisture. It is then purified and made drinkable again. Astronaut Dwiggles Willock once said that the coffee of yesterday is what makes tomorrow's coffee. The WRS system purifies the water present on the ISS and makes it reusable. Thus, 98% of water is saved from wastage. This is the oxygen generation system. This system takes some water from the WRS. It then passes it through a special process called electrolysis to produce oxygen for respiration. Electricity is passed through the water, causing the water to be converted into oxygen and hydrogen gas. Oxygen gas is used for breathing, but hydrogen is a very dangerous and flammable gas that can destroy an entire ISS in seconds. This hydrogen gas is not wasted but used in other system. It is called subheater system. This system collects waste carbon dioxide from the astronauts on the ISS and mix it with hydrogen gas, which produce water, methane and Carmesh gas, from which water is returned. Carmesh is kept in a thermal management system. But methane gas, which is critical for Earth, is ejected from the ISS into space. Methane gas, which is also a type of fuel, can be used to generate power and heat. Because it needs oxygen to burn. Oxygen is the most important thing for the astronaut on the ISS. If you look at the oxygen and water process of the ISS, we can see that it depends on refueling missions. Because it is 98% perfect, there is a problem in the system. Because of this, every 6 months or a year, water and oxygen are pumped into the ISS from Earth. These refueling missions are very expensive. The cost of transporting just 1 liter of water 400 kilometers above the ISS is more than $2,500. Therefore, it is very expensive to produce oxygen in this way on Mars, 22.5 million kilometers away. To produce oxygen, a system must be developed that will use the resource present on Mars to produce oxygen. In 2021, NASA Perseverance rover was sent to Mars, for which a device was installed in it named MOXIE. That means Mars Oxygen Institute Experiment, because ISS has a water refueling source. But finding water on Mars requires going to its polar cabin or digging a few feet down to retrieve ice. Because of this, Mars uses carbon dioxide from the atmosphere to make oxygen from it. Simply put, the Martian atmosphere is 95% carbon dioxide. MOXIE pumps carbon dioxide from the outer atmosphere and fuses it. It is then placed in an electrolyzer and heated to a temperature of 800 degrees Celsius, due to which oxygen gas is separated from carbon dioxide. The reason this electricity is made of gold is because gold is a heat conductor, which protects other parts of the perseverance from heating. This process produces oxygen gas as well as carbon monoxide from carbon dioxide. The disadvantage is that it can also form a layer of carbon if the carbon is completely separated in the process. Putting it under the cooking pan will not take the time to make these holes in the pan, so this process has to be done very carefully. But how much oxygen can a MOXIE produce on Mars? In this process, MOXIE requires a lot of power. This is why NASA uses it only occasionally when storing energy from solar panels. So far, it has produced only 122 grams of oxygen, which can keep a human alive for only 3.5 hours. If this system were to produce more oxygen on Mars, a large amount of MOXIE would be needed. It will also require a large power plant to run it, and this is the biggest challenge for us so far. Now the thing to understand here is that Mars first compressed the carbon dioxide with a compressor, then heats it to 800 degrees Celsius. But this process requires a lot of energy. To solve this problem, scientists are working on a futuristic technology that breaks down carbon dioxide molecules only at low temperature. It will separate oxygen molecules from carbon dioxide, but not by heating. but be creating vibration inside. Currently, this technology is being tested in the lab, but due to the high atmosphere pressures and temperature of the Earth, this test is not possible on Earth. However, the atmosphere of Mars is perfect for this work.